Hey guys, it's JP, and today I'm going to talk about why you should care about the shin muscles as you run. In this video, I will be going over how they function during running, as well as some great exercises that target them. Now, let's get into the video. The shin muscles are often neglected in most training programs for runners. However, not many people know what these muscles, specifically the tibialis anterior, do in the first place. So let's do a quick crash course on this muscle. The tibialis anterior originates from the upper portion of the shin, specifically the upper 2/3 of the outer surface of the tibia. Then, it connects to the mid portion of the foot, more specifically the medial cuneiform and the first metatarsal bones of the foot. With these attachment points in mind, as the muscle contracts, it causes ankle dorsiflexion, which is when the ankle bends so the upper portion of the foot comes toward you. Now that you know the basic functions of how the shin muscles work, the next question you may ask is, how does this apply to running? Based on some research studies on the tibialis anterior during running, you will notice that this muscle is relatively active throughout the whole cycle. However, to simplify this, the muscle seems to most notably serve to 1. Prevent foot slap by controlling motion of the foot during the landing. This is an important aspect of absorbing impact during the foot landing and allows for a smooth transition through the stance phase of running. And 2. Keep the foot lifted so you do not trip over the foot. Now that we got the basic reasons how the shin muscles work during running, let's go over some simple exercises that target them. The first one we will go over is heel walks. I chose to show you guys this one since it is really easy to implement initially, as it requires no equipment. This exercise involves a static hold of the shin muscles, otherwise known as an isometric contraction. This is a way to load the muscles initially and may help with soreness in the shins when they are irritable. Anyway, the cues for this one are relatively simple. Make sure to stand tall, then you basically walk on your heels. Make sure to try to keep the toes facing up toward the ceiling. I typically prescribe these in 30-second durations initially. Once you feel pretty comfortable with these, then I move on to some exercises that challenge them more. The next exercise I will go over is the seated toe raises. This is an easy way to progressively strengthen these muscles. Unlike the traditional way of doing it with the foot on the floor, I typically use some type of elevated surface as it allows you to go through more motion of the ankle and further challenge it. Anyway, to do this, sit down with a small elevated surface in front of you. Position your foot on the step so that just the heel or back 1/3 of the foot is on the surface. You can position a kettlebell as shown here. If there are none available, you can safely position a weighted plate where the edge of it is around the 1/3 portion of the front of the foot. Big emphasis on the safety aspect of this option. I don't want you dropping weights on your toes. Then, you raise the foot toward the ceiling as shown here. And from this position, slowly lower the foot. Try to maintain control during this portion of the activity. Then you can repeat it. The last exercise I will go over in this video is the single leg toe curls. This is a more advanced variation of the previous exercise. This not only requires more strength from these muscles, but it also involves a balance component as well. This is actually an important aspect to include, as these muscles are not involved in as much force production as the other muscles. Rather, these muscles may require more work in control and coordination to allow for smooth transition through the running cycle as you run. To do this one, stand on an elevated surface such as a step. Since it is rather challenging in terms of balance, you may use some type of hand support to help you with it. Then, similar to the previous exercise, lift the toes toward the ceiling as shown here. Then, slowly lower the foot and try to keep the motion as smooth as possible. This can be pretty difficult initially with no weight on the foot, but as you get better at it, you can position a kettlebell in a similar fashion as the last exercise. And those are a few simple exercises that target the shin muscles. One thing to mention is that while I would not usually consider strengthening these muscles as much as a priority as some other muscles, it is important to realize these muscles are loaded more than many people think as you run. With that in mind, it may not be a bad idea to load these muscles and improve control and strength of them. Anyway, I appreciate all your support and hope you continue to watch my videos. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching.